everyone. Welcome to the Sip and Spin. I am the Tipsy Spinster, and today's show is going to be a little bit different. I'm on location at the Kishwaukee Valley Heritage Society Museum, and I'm here with Cynthia Weiss, who is president of the museum. Her family donated this beautiful walking wheel, and I wanted to take this opportunity to go through the parts of a walking wheel, and I'm going to see if I can get this beautiful wheel up and running. It's been here in the museum for a little over 6 years, and I'd like Cynthia to share the story with you as soon as I get started working on it. One of the first things that I want to talk about are the parts of a great wheel. The research that I did on this would indicate that this wheel probably comes from Tennessee, the Tennessee mountain area. For those of you that are maybe more familiar with this style of wheel, please feel free to comment in and let me know your thoughts on it as well, because we want to get as close to the provenance as we possibly can. One of the things that I noticed with this wheel that's a little bit different, it does have a groove in it, which is kind of a unique characteristic to the great wheel. The things that you want to look for in purchasing a great wheel, you want to make sure that the wheel spins freely and smoothly, and you want to take a look to see whether or not there is a warp to the wheel. And one of the things that I notice about this wheel, which is absolutely amazing, is the fact that there's almost no warp to it whatsoever. This is one of the truest spinning wheels I've ever come across. You also want to take a look at the table that it's on, and because of the slant of this, that's why I am thinking it might be from the Tennessee area. It does have a little bit more of a significant slant to it, and it has a narrower table, which makes me feel like this probably didn't come from Pennsylvania. Now, you'll notice, for those of you that are familiar, you want the mother of all. This mother of all has both the quill with the two posts. And one of the things that's neat is how this is set up. It also has an accelerator head or a miner's head on it as well. And both the miner's head and the quill spin freely, which is one of the things that you want to take a look for. The posts are solid. So as I pull, it's going to once we get going, this is kind of a neat piece right here, which is stopping it. It's kind of a little bit of a break back here, which I'll use. And then once I get spinning, I'm going to move that up so it doesn't pull forward as I'm spinning. So looking at this great wheel, it has all of the pieces. So I'm going to grab a drive band and see if I can get it attached, and let's see if we can get something spun on this thing.
Hi, I'm Cynthia Weiss, president of Kishwaukee Valley Heritage Society here in Genoa, Illinois. My father was Harold Weiss, a private contractor here in Genoa, and many years ago he was working for Ruth Langton and apparently indicated an interest in her walking wheel that he had located out in one of her barns. And she offered it to Dad, and the rest is history, really. We had it in our basement for years and years, and it was a little damp in the basement, and so very relieved to know that the dampness didn't damage the walking wheel in any way. Dad and I donated the walking wheel in 2009 to the museum, and so we're just thrilled that now we can see how the walking wheel will be able to work.
So I did a little bit of finagling, and I used the extra acrylic from the drive band to tie that corn husk on to make it just a little bit tighter. Again, I want that quill, so when I'm done spinning this, we can take it off and fly it. You don't need it, but I think that it's something that would have traditionally been used. And I have to say, this is one of the smoothest great wheels I have ever spun on. For not seeing use in a number of years, it went back together remarkably well, and the yarn is amazingly consistent. There are no barbs on the quill, so as I spin off the tip, I'm spinning consistently. And I'm getting that familiar click. For those of you that spin on great wheels, you know what that click sounds like, that click feels like when you're spinning off the tip. This is really exciting. And just to see what our yarn will look like. So plied, that's what our finished yarn would look like. It is a beautiful semi-woolen, light, airy, fluffy. The interesting thing with this, I'm realizing as I'm spinning, I didn't even realize it, I've been working with this fiber for a number of weeks now. I have quite a bit of it. And I did not realize the way that I had been spinning it on my wheel at home, I had been spinning it woolen, which, as you know, is not airy. It's very tight. It's a very firm yarn. And what I'm discovering, and I think this is one of the reasons why I like Morit, that color, so well, is in this yarn, giving that little bit of air to it, I can see some of the grays and some of the color. So it's not just brown. There's actually a little bit more color in here. And I'm getting that where I didn't get that. And I think that's one of the nice things when you're spinning with a great wheel or on a support spindle, you do get a different type of yarn. And this yarn is actually going to be very, very pretty. This wheel spins so smoothly. I could just stand here and do this all day. Nope, I knew that was going to happen. So now reattaching on a great wheel. One of my least favorite things, but let's see how well we can do it. And I saw it was about to happen and I let it happen because let's see if we can reattach. So again, whenever you're reattaching fiber, you want to make sure that they grip and you're blending in so you don't have a hollow hole or tube. You want to make sure that you have a good join. And I'm going to check that join by pulling. Yep, and I have a join. Thank you so much for tuning in today. As you can see, we were able to get this beautiful great wheel up and running again. And as I wind on, one of the things that I'd like to talk about, last thing that I want to talk about is the beautiful fiber that is wound onto this bobbin. The consistency of it, how fine it is. This wheel has been an absolute joy getting up and running again. So for those of you that are on Spinning Adventures, if you want to try a great wheel or if you're looking for a great wheel, I wish you all the best. These are wonderful wheels to work with. Even though they do have a relatively large footprint, the yarn that you get spinning on a great wheel is absolutely beautiful. As always, thanks for checking in. Happy spinning. So I just finished up at the Kishwaukee Valley Heritage Society, and I realized that just a few short doors away, Prairie State Winery exists. Prairie State Winery is a lovely little full-service winery located in Genoa, Illinois. They have a huge selection of wines ranging from dry whites to sweet whites, dry reds to sweet reds, and a couple beautiful dessert ports as well. They also have some fun fruit wines. So if you're in the Genoa area, I would highly encourage you to check out Prairie State Winery. In my glass today is the Savannah Oak, and I thought this would be the perfect way to finish out the day and the work that I did at the museum with the Great Wheel. We decided that the wheel is most likely made from red oak, and in my glass is Savannah Oak. It's a little bit of a dry wine, but it's a perfect white and it's great for enjoying out on the patio. It's perfectly sippable. And in addition, I realized after reading this issue of Ply Magazine, which is the spindle issue, that I need to be a little bit better about bringing my spindle with me. So in my lap is my new goddess spindle, and it's a Fang style spindle, and I have to say, it's perfectly portable, and it's great keeping my hands busy in between sips. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Cheers.